Hello Year 7, this is Roman London Lesson 3. Well done on all your hard work in previous lessons on Roman London. It's fantastic, so let's keep going today. Now what you're looking at here are three pictures of mosaics, and they were found in a Roman home in Verulamium, just north of London in St Albans. Now, a mosaic is a pattern or picture produced by arranging pieces of tile that tessellate next to one another. Now, if we look at these pictures, what kind of Roman person do you think would have mosaics like these in their house? Explain your answer, please. So write this down. Leave space for a title, obviously. And what purpose do you think these mosaics had in a house? Think of as many reasons as possible for why someone might want a mosaic in their house. So spend a few minutes on that, please. Excellent. Now, if you could please write down the title, Investigating Roman London Part 2. So remember last week we did some excellent investigations and archaeological skills. I'm going to build on them today. Our lesson objectives for today: to infer various details about Roman life from Roman ruins, to use different ruins and information to design our own Roman villa/town, and to write an estate agent advert for our Roman villa, emphasizing the strengths and weaknesses of the home. Now, what do you think there are still remains? Why do you think there are still remains of Roman buildings in London? That was thousands and thousands of years ago. How on earth could they still survive? Why do you think that is the case? If you have an answer, please write that down. You'll see in the picture at the bottom of the screen, that is a Roman villa in southeast London that they've managed to find the ruins of. Okay, here's some more pictures for you. Remains of Roman villas in the UK. You can see the evidence in the foundations of the home. What do we learn about Roman villas from these pictures? At least three things. So look at the size, look at the shape. What can we learn about Roman villas from these images? And what do you think the purpose of the red pillars are? What do you think they are there for? In case you don't know what foundations are, they are, when constructing a home, they are in the ground and they support the walls, floor and roof. Okay. On Show My Homework, you'll find the link to the video, and what I'd like you to do is watch the video on Roman towns and answer the following questions. List at least 3 buildings you might find in a Roman town. And secondly, why is Pompeii useful for archaeologists studying Roman towns? And some of you may have heard about Pompeii before. Can you write some detailed responses to those questions, please, based on the video? And the link is on Show My Homework. Okay. Now this is the first main activity of today's lesson. What I'd like you to do is, if I was teaching in real life, I would give you a picture of a Roman villa, but you're going to have to draw one yourself, so just bear that in mind. And what I'd like you to do is, as I go through this, I'd like you to label each part of your villa and write down specific bullet points and notes in your book. So you're annotating a picture of a villa. For each, think, does your own home have any of these? If so, in each case, write down if it is different or the same as the Roman villa. An example would be, so when I talk about the atrium, you would explain what the atrium is. You'd explain what it allows people to do. Once we've done this, the extension task, start designing your own Roman villa. Make sure you include the right number of rooms. Can you make any improvements to a common Roman villa? Okay. Now what I suggest you do is, using the PowerPoint and Show My Homework, draw your own floor plan of a Roman villa. Now you can take your time with this. Here is an example for you that you can use to copy. Just make sure it's neat and tidy, and you have something that looks a bit like this. So you've got a row of rooms around a central courtyard area. Okay, So first of all, we have the atrium. The atrium is the grand entrance hall. In the grand entrance hall, in the atrium, there is a pool of water to cool the room down and pretty mosaics on the floor. So remember, we looked at mosaics at the start of the lesson. What do you have when you enter your house? I certainly don't have a pool of water. I don't even have a mosaic, even though I would like one. So make sure you label that, please. So the atrium is when you walk straight into the home. Then we have the Hippocaust. Now Romans, they're from Italy, they're from Rome. So they might get cold during the British winters. So what they do is they have the Hippocaust. And under the whole house there is room for air to move. There's a fire below one side of the house and it heats the air. It's all stone, so there's not much risk of fire. And so that hot air goes underneath the house and warms the floor. Does your house have central heating? I presume it does. The Romans were the first group of people to invent central heating and have that in homes. So you can see an example here. Can you label that on your diagram of a Roman villa, please? Next, we have the triclinium. The rich Romans had dinner lying down on sofas. The triclinium was the dining room. You would eat good food and drink fine wine with your friends. Sometimes a servant would even feed you by hand. At some parties, people were keen to eat so much food they took something to be sick between courses. So they really, really did love their fine food. How do you eat your dinner at home? Maybe you eat it on the sofa, but I doubt you're lying down. I doubt someone feeds you. Can you explain what the triclinium is on your diagram of your Roman villa? Then we have the peristyle, the courtyard at the back of a wealthy townhouse. This is where you might have your garden, statues of the domestic gods, and a small pool to cool off in. Do you have a garden? Do you have a courtyard? Do you have statues of domestic Roman gods? Can you annotate the peristyle on your diagram, please? Other extras in Roman homes. Some very wealthy Romans in London would have their own bath with heated water, somewhere for their many servants to sleep or their slaves, and even a shop outside to sell produce to the locals. So they might have a shop at the front, they might have servant quarters at the back, and might have a bathhouse as well. Maybe you can add those to your diagram also. Now, once you've got a lovely, neat and tidy diagram full of annotations and detail, what I'd like you to do is pretend you're an estate agent in London and you are going to sell a Roman villa. Not now, not a dilapidated piece of rubble, but a nice, fine, in good shape Roman villa. There's some sentence starters for you, and I'd like you to use all of the key words: atrium, peristyle, triclinium, bathhouse, central heating, slave quarters, etc. Think about what your villa is close to. Think about what dangers there might be in Roman London. What did we learn last lesson? Explain how it's better, at the end, better or worse than housing in modern London. An overall right conclusion, and maybe sort of give your Roman villa a monetary value of gold coins. So you're an estate agent, you're selling your fine home to some very wealthy people in Roman London. That's got to be at least half a page. This is an example here with some sentence starters.